now. So thank you. Here for Social Media Secrets tonight. This is the second of 3 courses with Henry Schein Hallis for this year. So I would like to start with a video, since it's all about social. Talking about videos, is there anybody here that does not want to have their face on video? Because we're having it recorded and there will be 3 cameras out. Is everybody okay? Yeah? Okay, beautiful, thank you. Okay, Mel, we are all good. All right, let's start with a video. So are you ready? You know, the quote is, you don't have a choice on whether you do social media. The question is how well we do it. And I'm guessing that the fact that you are here tonight is because you realize that you maybe need some help, maybe need some inspiration, or just want to understand what it all is about. And the fact that there was people phoning me up begging to get onto the course tonight, you are the ones that actually made it through the door, that we just could not house all of the people that wanted to come tonight. So thank you for making it out, and well done. So tonight, by the end of this evening, I hope that you will have some tips that you can take back to your practice and start using straight away. I'm going to show you some tools and some apps that you might find useful, that you might feel inspired to try out yourself. I want you to think about planning, you know, what to do and when to do it, which is the key to all marketing. Understanding, you know, so if you're talking to your team, if you're talking to suppliers, you need to understand what marketing is about, what social media is about. And then I'll give you lots of examples, lots of visuals, because I know you like seeing what other people are doing, and hopefully you'll have a bit of inspiration and entertainment to while the evening away. So I'll start off with some foundations and to talk about social media as a whole and why you could or should be on there as a practice. I'm going to focus on Facebook and Instagram with regards to the setup. Then we'll dive into posts, what you should be posting, when you should be posting, and then how you can post it. Responding to comments, how you can manage that, and that's always an interesting conversation. How to increase your interaction, and then how to manage and review what you're doing on your social media. So we're going to cover quite a lot. I've probably crammed in a full day's seminar into 3 hours, so forgive me if I go fast. Please feel free to shout out. Please feel free to ask questions. Please feel free to share, because the reality is if you've got questions or you've had experiences, the chances are somebody else in the room will have the same. You can relax. I will send copies of the slides out. If you grab the contact form, which you should all have in front of you, if you fill in the form, I can send out a copy of the slides afterwards. The slides are changing. So this is the third one in the series that I've done, and the slides have changed from the first to today because, quite literally, how things are moving online and what happens with Facebook is literally changing on a weekly basis. So you will get the latest slides. And for those of you that are not on the closed Facebook group, we have an online group with Facebook. It's called Dental Marketing Secrets. If you search for Dental Marketing Secrets, and I'll also send you the link, just sign up and say you attended my course, and we'll just give you membership to the group. So who am I and what am I doing here? As you can tell from my accent, I'm British, but I have been in Australia for 19 years. So everything that I talk about tonight is based on the Australian market. Okay, so lots of people think, okay, you know, dental marketing, she must be from America. Okay, what I talk about is what you guys see, what I see on a daily basis in Australia, with Australian patients, with Australian dental practices. So I've got over 20 years in marketing and sales and way over 10 in health, medical and dental. And why am I here? I'm here because I'm passionate about making sure that you guys understand what it needs to market your practice. Okay, I am absolutely tired of speaking to your peers and your colleagues who are being sold something from a company that they don't understand, that they don't need, that is overpriced. Okay, you guys need to understand this. And I was lucky enough to be invited to a closed door invitation only event last Thursday, which was on the future of dentistry. I don't know whether any of you saw this on the group. So it was an investor event with all of the heads of all the dental corporates in the room. NIB was there as well, insurance companies, and it was about the future of dentistry. And truly, guys, it is something else.
Did you see the fact that HBF in Western Australia has sent out letters dumping their preferred provider program?
Well, this is what NIB was saying. Mm-hmm. You know,
HBF in WA, 45% of the market, and they sent out letters, hasn't been
pre-approved.
And they've just cancelled all of their provider contracts.
It was scary to be in the room. You know, we can have a chat afterwards. Happy for me to stay out later, and I'll tell you more about what was going on. But you know, I was asked to be on the panel with the dental corporates, and it was lovely to be able to be your voice and to say, this is what's happening on the grassroots. This is what we're seeing. This is what we're not seeing, and to be able to kind of fight your corner and, you know, name it. So it was a huge event, and the next time it runs will be in 3 or 4 years' time. So it was a moment in time, first time ever that the dental corps have been there. So, you know, you guys have got to understand how to market your practice. You know, these big corporates are after your lunch, you know, truthfully. You know, they said it, you know, that they don't see the other corporates as your competition. They see you as your competition, as their competition. So it was full on. It really was. Sorry?
That's how it is in America.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and their growth plans. Their growth plans were incredible.
Because they're banks.
Yeah. They were talking about 10xing where they are.
Time they will swallow everything.
10xing.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
And we can do nothing.
Well, I was asked. So the guy that the investor or the analyst that was running it is actually his wife is a dentist, private practice, and so he's very invested. And so I was there to kind of answer, you know, the questions for you guys. And it was what do these practices, you know, what do the corporates do badly? What can they not do? And what they can't do is they can't be localised, and they can't grow organically their local practices. Okay, they can't position themselves as the local dentist ever. You know, they can build a brand, but they can't be that local practice. So you guys, who are the local practices, that's how you differentiate yourself. You know, and I've been saying it for years and years and years. Whoever's seen me do seminars before, but it really hit home last week. That it's like, this is how you survive. You know, you have to beat them, and and attack their weakness. You know, you've got to be you. You know, absolutely. So happy to talk later and more. Okay, so, I'm passionate about this, and I'm really proud to say that I was actually awarded the Dental Industry Professional of the Year award this year. So it's really great. And you've all been given copies of my book, because obviously what I can talk about in a 3-hour seminar isn't obviously everything that you need to know about how you can market your practice. So it's been written in such a way that you can dip in, there's case studies, there's examples throughout. So hopefully if there's something that you want to know about for your practice with the marketing, then you can use the book as a reference point. So very briefly, who are My Dental Marketing? We were established in 2009, so heading up to our 10th birthday. We are Australian dental marketing specialists. There's 13 of us in the company, all Australian based, and we've worked with over 400 practices. And all of you that were sitting downstairs having some food, you will have seen our awards. So we actually won 3 of the 6 industry awards this year against the likes of Henry Schein, Hallis, Centaur Software. So we were really, really proud. So we won the Marketing Award and the President's Award, which is the highest award that a dental industry company can win. Thank you. And this is us, slightly biased. We do have a male photographer though, so we're all female. Okay, and what do we believe in? We believe that every practice is unique. Okay, you guys are unique, and this is how you have to position yourself. We believe that marketing has to be part of your growth strategy. The practices that think, yeah, it's fine, it will go away, cannot survive in today's market. And we believe that it's all about long-term communication with your existing patients. So why are we here? What's our purpose in life? Is to make sure that you guys are fully booked, that you retain your existing patients, okay? That you attract new patients and you stay ahead of your competition. And I know what your competition is, okay? And then having that sense of control, feeling relaxed, knowing that you're in control of your business. So now you know a little bit about me. Can I do a poll or a show of hands for you? Who here is a practice owner? Okay. Practice manager? Beautiful, welcome. Team members? Okay, great. Good spread. Who here is in an existing practice? Who here is opening? Who's an existing practice, as in it's not a new practice, you're not opening a practice? Okay, are there any new practices here?
We're 2 years into it.
Okay, so newish. Toddler. Okay, and I know quite a lot of you are here with members of your team. Show of hands, who's here with somebody else? So you can persuade them to do all the work. Who here's on their own? Beautiful, okay, welcome. And my favourite question of the evening, who here is responsible for the marketing of their practice? I always love this because I always get that, no, it's you. It's you, it's not me. Okay, thank you. All right, a few ground rules. Phones to silent, but please feel free to take photos, videos, share. Okay, as I said, please get involved, volunteer information, ask questions. I will be doing some live demonstrations, technology willing. Okay, so we'll have a play and I will follow what you guys want to learn and what you want to see. Okay, so it'll be quite a fluid agenda, I guess. And we'll probably have a break halfway through and then I'm available at the end. And this is the first social media course of its type. Okay, so it's the third, but it's the first one we've done. So there is so much that we can cover, all right? And I know that there will be people that will be frustrated because I can't go as deep as you want to, and there will probably be people frustrated because I can't go as high as you want to. But I will need to go with the majority of the people in the room. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. And just to go with the flow, that we'll do what the majority wants to see. We'll stick to the agenda, but we'll play with what people on the whole want to go with. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Thank you. Yep, sure.
Are you going to do a full day on this sort of thing next year?
Show of hands, who wants a full day? I mean, at the end of the day, I will present on what you guys need. So Henry Shine Hallis and I sit down at this time of the year and we talk about what do we need to do next year. So if you guys think you need a full day, you know, write it here. So there's a box for comments. If you think you want to do hands-on workshops, if you think it should be smaller numbers, you know, give us your ideas. If there's other things that you want to learn about, put it down, okay? Because this is the time to shout out, because this is where we're planning the seminars for next year. So, great question. It is on my mind, wondering, do we do a full day? Can we cope with a full day? Okay, so some golden rules. And I typically start all of my seminars with these because these are marketing rules, regardless of whether it's social media or not. These are the rules that you need to think about when you're marketing your practice. So number one, there is no silver bullet. A few smiles, okay? There is no one thing that you could or should be doing to market your practice, okay? You are here tonight to talk about social media. I absolutely guarantee that the only thing, that if you only do social media in your practice, you will not get new patients to an extent that you need, okay? This is not, so social media is not the one thing that you need to do. It's one of the many things, okay? The reason that I wrote a book and not a pamphlet is because there is no one thing, all right? So if there's one thing for you to take away from this is, there are many things you need to do to market your practice, to get those new patients in and to retain those existing patients. And likewise, I need you to avoid the scattergun approach. I speak to lots of practices that say, well, I did social media for a week and I sent an email newsletter and I did a flyer drop and nothing works for me. I absolutely guarantee that if you're trying a bit of this and a bit of that and one of these, and it will not work for you, absolutely. Whatever you decide that is right for your practice, you need to do consistently, and you need to do it to the best of your ability. And when you've got it working, that's when you do something else. Okay, so if social media, you're thinking, okay, we're going to try that, do it to the best of your ability. Don't shuffle, don't try a little bit of that, avoid the scattergun approach. So be authentic. So I see lots of practices to try and be something that they're not. You know, they might be trying to be the corporate, but they never can be. But likewise, we know that the corporates can't be the local practice, okay? If you've got a practice that was renovated in 1967 and hasn't changed since, don't try and be a dental spa, okay? Because you're not, and you never will be. If you're saying that you are the friendliest practice in town, and you know that your receptionist is the grumpiest person in town, yeah, you're not being authentic. True? Okay, you need to really, really know the personality of your practice, okay, what you stand for, what makes you different, and talk about it. Don't try and be anybody else but yourself. Everything is marketing, all right? So I asked who here is responsible for the marketing of their practice, and a few of you put your hands up and a few of you didn't. Every single interaction that your patients have with your practice is marketing your practice. Every single interaction, every single conversation can ruin your reputation, true, or enhance it. The grumpy receptionist can ruin your reputation. Every single interaction. How you present your treatment plans, every conversation. So we're here to talk about marketing, but the reality is every single member of your team is responsible for the marketing of your practice. And if you're sitting here and you know that there's somebody that is not really who you want on the team or behaving the way that you think your practice should be, it's time to fix it. Okay, you can do the best marketing. You can spend millions on your marketing. But if you can't get those patients through that door and staying in your practice, there is absolutely no point, truly. And a third of my book is about the foundations, and it's about the basics and making sure that your team and your premises and your values all stack up before you even start doing marketing. Is that okay? And the final one is fish where the fish are. Right, you are trying to catch some fish, some patients. One of the mistakes that I see is that people just try and go and catch any fish, anybody. I need any patients, okay? It gets really hard to market to them. You really need to know who you're trying to attract in this market. Okay, there is a saturation of dentists and dental practices. The corporates are coming. The corporates are here, okay? You need to know who you are specifically trying to target. And then choose your marketing wisely. Because there are so many things you can do to market your practice. So let's just say that you are trying to attract empty nesters, pensioners. Do you think you should be spending your time on Instagram? No way. Or if you're trying to attract young families, do you think you should be going to high value, top of the range resorts around your area? Or do you think it might be better advertising in your local school paper? Somebody in the middle of Sydney that phoned me and she said, I have been given the greatest opportunity for marketing. And I thought, here we go. And she said, I've been offered a great deal to be on the radio to the whole of New South Wales. You're laughing. Okay, I cry. Okay, do you think her target market is listening to the radio in country New South Wales when her practice is in the middle of Sydney? Or do you think they might be sitting on the train reading their Facebook feed? Okay, she thought it was an amazing, amazing opportunity. Okay, fish where the fish are. Identify who you're trying to attract and then choose your marketing with that in mind. And then the final one is your website, okay? So the reality is, we're talking about social media here, guys, but if you are not getting your website right, number one priority, there's no point in you doing any other form of digital marketing, social media being one of them. Crazy whistling noises. Okay, it's the one place that people will go to, true? If you think about any service, a restaurant, hotel, where's the first place you look? So if you know that your website is not working to the max, to the best of its ability, then fix it now. Social media. So the agenda, we'll go through different steps. So first of all, can I just show of hands, who here is on social media with their practice? Okay. Is there anybody that isn't? So every practice here has got a social media presence. That's great. I had a practice in Melbourne that actually needed me to explain what Facebook was because they'd never seen it. Whoa, okay. So every audience is different, and I had to explain what social media was, assuming I don't need to explain. Okay, so who here has a practice on Facebook? Everybody? Okay, who's on Instagram? Wow, go Sydney. Far out, you should be giving the course. That's really good. So what was that? Probably 80% of the room was on Instagram. And you want to be. That is quite staggering. Wow. I should go to South Australia and see what they're doing. Okay, anybody else on anything else with their practice? Google My Business? Yeah. Anybody else on any other platforms? Twitter, Pinterest? Good. LinkedIn, professionally. Okay. All right, I will go through and I'll show you why and what you should be on. And how would you rate yourself? Who here thinks that they are a social media guru? Intermediate, doing okay? You think, oh, come on. Yeah? Yeah? Okay. Absolute beginner? And who here doesn't really know? They kind of somewhere in the middle. Okay. So, the problems that I see when I talk to you guys is knowing what to post, and we were talking about this earlier. Show of hands, struggling with knowing what to post? Yeah? Sorry? What was that?
My name's right up.
Okay, knowing when to post. Yeah? Knowing how to get engagement. Yeah? Okay. And paid advertising. Who here has no idea what to do with paid advertising, whether they should be doing it or not? What is paid advertising?
As in within Facebook.
Within Facebook. Yeah. Okay, so would you say that was a fair?
Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah. Anything else that's not there that you think should be?
What's the difference between the boosting and the advertising?
Do that. So the difference between boosting and advertising, I talk about that. Any other questions? There was one.
Well, kind of what legally the content should be.
Oh, we talk legals as well. That's always a good conversation. Okay. All right. So the mistakes that I see. And I won't ask you to put up your hands for this one. Haphazard, inconsistent posting. You know, you kind of go really hard for a week and then, oh, crikey, it's 6 months later and I haven't done anything. Not you. Sorry? Get a copy of the slides. So just make sure you fill in the form. Okay. So not using a range of posts, going, okay, I know how to do funny things and I'll do funnies, or I know how to do happy birthday to the team. Happy birthday. We've run out of birthdays. Babies? Yeah. Okay, generic posts, so nothing different, all kind of samey same. Yeah. Okay, poor quality or scary images, guys. Procedural images. Okay, not branding your photos, so not actually splashing your name. Yeah. And links back to your website, forgetting to actually send people back to your website to do something. Okay. Recognize lots of those? All right, so number one, obviously, you need a plan. Okay? You need to actually think about what you're doing and why you're on social media in the first place. So, number one, before you do any form of marketing, you need to think about your ideal patient. And then in other courses, we go really deep into this. But if you're trying to attract young families, do you think you will be posting different things to if you were trying to attract empty nesters? Yeah? So everything comes back to knowing who you're trying to attract, your ideal patient. Okay? And trying to think, what do they want to see? What are they interested in? What do they care about? What you're trying to achieve? Why are you on social media in the first place? Because you need to be, because you want people to book, because you just want to show the friendly side of your practice. You need to think about what you're trying to achieve, because then you can measure against it. And then if you're spending money, if you're paying somebody to do it, if you're posting, if you're boosting posts, you need to track your marketing spend and you need to know your return on investment. Okay? Whether you're getting a good return on investment for your spend. If it's working for you. So the foundations, going right to the beginning of why you should be on social media. 69% of Australians are on social media. Not really a surprise, I would say, of Australians. There's not many 5-year-olds, I hope. Yeah? So if you think about it in that way, that is pretty high. 60% use Facebook. 50% use Facebook on a daily basis. Okay, so half of Australians are on Facebook every single day. You know, just think about that. Half of Australians. It's insane, truly, isn't it? You know, think of any other form of media. Do half of Australians watch, you know, the Channel 9 news? Do half of the Australians read Sydney Morning Herald? Half of Australians are on social media, on Facebook every single day. 50% use YouTube, and 33% are using Instagram. So we're talking about Instagram because it is growing. And this is another awesome one. So each day, on average, 1 hour and 40 minutes on social media. And the highest ones are 8 hours. Could be your team. 8 hours on social media, like insane. Okay, so this is average. All right, so your patients are on social media, your potential patients are on social media. Do we agree?
Yes.
Okay, so your practice is also on social media, which is amazing. Okay, so I want you to go back and side 2 steps to actually think about how people buy online, because what they are doing is buying dentistry. They are researching online. All right, so 81% of people research online. Hey. You know, we know this, no great surprise. So let's think about what people do when they think online, okay? You know, think about your own behavior. We've talked about this. Number 1, they come to the websites. True? So you need to get your website looking the best that it can be. Number 2, and we will talk about this because every seminar I do, we have to talk about online reviews, but they look at reviews. True?
Yeah.
And number 3, social media. This is how your potential patients are going to assess your practice. Number 1 way that practices get heard about is via word of mouth. Always has been, always will be. But people just don't say, oh, you know, they recommended Dr. Robert, or phone up. They check you out online, true? Okay? And they say, Robert, you know, he's great, he's friendly, he's funny, he's approachable. Look at the website, you know, does that look like what I've just been told about? They look at your social media. Does that ring true? Online reviews, does it all stack up? Would you agree that this is how you buy and how you research online? Your patients are the same. Okay? Social media, it's part of the puzzle, but it is not the puzzle. All right, I want to be really, really clear about this. So there's a video, which is an American video, but I really think that it talks about why practices could or should be online on social media.
For me, it's all about being connected with our patients. Our practice is relationship based. The more you can enhance that relationship, the better off they are. My name is Greg Pitts. Dentistry is my profession, but my passion is providing the best dental care for my patients. And that's why my practice is social. A lot of people would think there's no connection between dental practice and social media, but all the patients that we have, most of them come from word of mouth referrals, and there's not a greater way to spread that message than through social media. It kind of becomes viral. You take good care of somebody, and they tell their friends, and it just kind of goes exponentially. It's been a great thing for our practice to be a social practice. You know, the old saying, out of sight, out of mind, is so important when it comes to this kind of stuff. I've got a big practice, and to go out and make phone calls and touch base with every one of them, sometimes I only see them every 6 months. With it on your cell phone, it's so easy just to update what you're doing.
The reason we continue going with social media is we get feedback.
We've had patients actually come in because of posts we made. They say, hey, your kids' day looked really fun. Can I schedule my kid to come in on his day?
My kids saw this and went, oh, can we go to that practice, Mum? I'm like, no, sorry. So do you agree with what he said? You know, it is so hard to stay in touch with your patients You know, you have such a short amount of time to spend with them. Social media is here because people buy from people. People want that human interaction. People want to be connected in this disconnected world. You know, and people, your patients want to know about you and who's having a baby and whose birthday it is. Okay? They want to know about the people behind the brand. And this is where the big guys can't compete. Okay? They can't be the people behind the brand. It is hard for the dental corporates. Okay? They want to see the human side of you, the relaxed side of you. You know, they want to know about the people in your practice. And, you know, your potential patients will assess you on this. You know, does it ring true? Do they look friendly? Do they look approachable? Do they look fun? Do they look professional? Do they look experienced? You know, what it is they are searching for. You know, do they look like they're the top end in town? Or do they look like they are the no gaps practice? Do they look like they are the most experienced implant practice? Okay? But they will assess you and your practice from your social media. And your existing patients will be reminded that you exist and actually they need to come back in because it has been 2 years. All right? Already, you know? So it's just a gentle reminder. So what platform should you be on? You know, Facebook, absolutely, okay? The world is on Facebook. Instagram, because it's growing, as I said. Number 3, YouTube. Okay, is anybody here doing any videos on YouTube yet? Dipping your toe in? Yeah. Okay, so number 3, you know, number 1, get Facebook happening. Number 2, if you're, you know, happy with Facebook, move into Instagram. 3, YouTube. And then 4, you know, LinkedIn, if you want to position yourself, if you want to network with your peers, if you are a specialist and you want to put yourself out there, LinkedIn is great. Twitter, no. Question?
Why did LinkedIn reduce its age for being able to join it to 13 when it appears to be predominantly a business?
Because it's all about the numbers. They want as many people possible, and the rules is social media minimum age is 13, so they will have dropped it to increase. Yeah, I don't personally know any 13-year-olds on LinkedIn, but my 18-year-old half-sister is absolutely on LinkedIn. She started university and she was told to start networking on LinkedIn from day 1, which I think is really interesting. So I see a huge amount of dentists on LinkedIn, but you know, they're not there to network with, they're there to network with peers. They're not there to attract patients. So again, you know, what's your goals? Why are you on social media platforms? LinkedIn is to network with your peers and position yourself. Look for a job, advertise for jobs. Okay, so that's what we're going to look at this evening. We're going to mostly focus on Facebook, and then a little bit on Instagram. We've only got the 3 hours, so I will do what I can. Is that okay? And maybe we'll go for the full day course